Thank you. Primary elections are 1 week away. In odd numbers years like this, the ballots are reserved for local elections, things like city councils and school boards. With some reminders on what you need to know, Shawnee County's Elections Commissioner Andrew Howell is here with us today. Welcome to you. Thanks for taking some time.
Thank you.
Things that we need to keep in mind. First of all, what makes the municipal elections different than when we think about state representatives and state office holders?
So in odd years, there is no party, it's a nonpartisan race, so you won't find any partisan election, at least from us, out there on the website or on your ballot. So I think that is something to keep in mind.
Which means that if you register to vote and you don't declare a party, if you live in the city of Topeka, you still can take part.
You are absolutely eligible, yes.
Okay, so there are only two things on the Shawnee County primary ballot.
Correct.
What are those questions?
So the mayor's race is on the ballot, and City Council District 1 is on the ballot. We have 6 candidates in both of those races. So just a reminder to folks, if you really want to learn more about them, at least as much as we can tell you, on our website, we've got the list of each of those candidates. Most of them have given us their phone numbers, their emails. You can certainly do a Google search with that information, maybe learn more, or call them, or email them. Either way.
So you're not an election campaign site, but you do have the contact information for
Correct.
people who want to go find their information. Is this unusual? 6 candidates in 2 of the primaries?
I don't remember having had 6 in some of these races, so it seems a little unusual. But I'm certainly happy that people are engaged and willing to put their name on the line and put their name on the ballot.
But one headline here is that there is something for everyone in the city limits of Topeka.
Correct. Yeah, you'll have at least a mayor's race, and then if you're in City Council District 1, you'll also have that second race of the City Council District 1.
And then how many people advanced in November, you said? The top 2 vote getters?
Correct. In each race, if they're on those ballots, those 2 will move on. In the cases where there are some folks who have 3 races, again, it takes 4 to cause a primary, and that's why we're doing that. But in the primary election, on the primary ballot, the top 2 finishers then will go on to the general election.
And that is true what you mentioned there, because there has been a few people have reached out a little confused about that. They're like, well, there are 3 candidates running. How come this primary isn't on my ballot? That's because of a change in state law, not too terribly long ago, actually, either.
2017, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so not too long ago. There have to be at least 4 for there to trigger a primary. You mentioned these are nonpartisan, so if you're wondering why you're not seeing Republican or Democrat, that is why. One thing we heard a lot of debate about in the legislative session were some changes to election laws. So if people are wondering about any sort of change they might see this time around, is there anything? And by that I mean we heard people talking about, well, now you're not going to have a grace period if you mail your ballot back, and are there going to be drop boxes? There was some debate over whether or not those would remain. How are those working?
So the 3-day grace period is still in effect for this year. That will the change in law related to that would occur next year. So there's still a 3-day grace period. I guess I would remind people, we still have the drop box. You can bring those ballots if you've gotten a mail ballot. You want to drop it off directly at our office. There's one inside, and then there's one on the north side of the building as well. So for people that just want to drive it by, we've got people standing by to help with that.
Are those going to go away next year, or will those remain?
I'm not aware of any legislation outlawing drop boxes.
So that will stay, but the 3-day grace period. Today, there is a deadline today. This is your deadline to request a mail ballot application,
Correct.
Is that correct?
So we're open in the office this week from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you have till 7 p.m. or you can email us and we'll accept that up till midnight today. But this is the last day to request a mail ballot. It is getting late. Not a lot of time, but there's still time, but it's tighter.
Yeah, if you pick it up in person, obviously it's going to reach you. But if you request it electronically and you have to mail it out,
right? And then
you know, what's the warning about? Everybody's been talking about the Postal Service, so it's not. I don't think that you're saying anything out of school when you say we have to be aware of the time and delays that have been happening.
Yeah, I would ask people, if you want one yet today, you've got till 7 p.m. You can certainly come in and request one. You know, it's a little bit of a process, but you can do that. But then early voting in the office is probably the best option after that, because we're open till 7 p.m. for the rest of the week. And then the Monday, our last opportunity is next Monday from 8 a.m. to noon, and it does close by law at noon. So at the office at 3420 Southwest Van Buren.
And that is the in-person advance voting. You still have the traditional Election Day tradition of going to the polls, but again, City of Topeka only for mayor, and then District 1 will have that second race. If you live in the county, you can just watch our news results that night and find out who is advancing to the November ballot. Andrew Howell, appreciate you coming and filling us in on those details.
Thank you.